to our World Cup episode on Remotely Wasted. This is going to be our first episode talking about pretty much anything that's not football or some random garbage. So if you're here for this, welcome. If you want to see anything more like this, drop a comment, like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. So I guess we'll just hop into it. We were meaning to make more of these essentially before the tournament started, kind of throughout, but been a little busy this first. I think it's been the first 12 days that the tournament started, or it's been 12 days.
Holiday season.
Yeah, holiday season, and then covering college football, so it's been a little tough to fit extra stuff in. But we are halfway through the group stage, or no, we're halfway through the entire tournament. There's half of it's left. Group stages are almost over. There's been, I think, 6 or 8 teams that have already qualified for the knockout rounds. So we'll kind of, I guess, start off by going through the groups and kind of discussing. So Group A, this was a pretty easy group in my opinion. So Qatar is the one hosting the tournament, and so they're the first team to host a World Cup that has not won a single game in the history of the World Cup.
Very couldn't happen to a more deserving country.
Exactly.
Honestly.
They shouldn't have, in my opinion, they should not be hosting this World Cup to begin with. This was a paid for, and then all the human rights violations that occurred to build these stadiums and all the infrastructure. Like, granted, all the stadiums look really nice and the place looks incredible, but they deserve all of this.
Hundreds of people died to build those stadiums.
They have a -6 goal differential. That's terrible. They've scored 1 goal this entire 3 games. To be fair, this is for them, it's a tough group, but like looking at it, it's not too bad. Netherlands were all the obvious favorite to win the group. I think they're not as good as they could be. So we've been drawn to play Netherlands in the next round, USA. I think it's a winnable game for us. The Netherlands, their best player is their center back, Virgil van Dijk. He's their anchor of this team. He's their leader. I think he's pretty much the one that's helped them get through. He's stopped a lot of attacks and keeping them from being scored on. They have only been scored on once, which is nice, I suppose. But Senegal is not, the craziest team, and Ecuador is not the craziest team either. But I really wanted Ecuador to move on. I don't know if they have a chance. I think this one's all locked up actually. Netherlands is playing USA, Senegal's playing England. So unfortunate for Senegal. They're probably gonna get bodied, and it's probably not gonna be pretty. You hate to see it.
So you watch a lot more soccer than I do. Netherlands, United States. Do you think that's gonna be a good matchup? Do you think there's a favorite in those two? Or are they evenly matched?
I think it'll be a good matchup. Netherlands are probably the favorites to win. It honestly just depends like what US team shows up. So this last game we played Iran after drawing England the game before, and England beat Iran 6-2. So coming into the Iran game, I was like, okay, we tied England 0-0, and then England beat them 6-2. So like ideally we should, be able to put up not a similar performance, but at least close. And Iran played us super, super hard. Very physical. And then the entire first half, like we looked really good. We had possession of the ball, plenty of opportunities going forward. Our passing in the close to their goal was not as good. And then we couldn't get anything going for a while. Like we could not score. And then we finally got one. Christian Pulisic got hurt. He fucking got a cross in, and he went, like, as he was kicking it in, he collided with the goalie, and he's got a pelvic contusion. That he got, like, they literally smashed into each other. It was pretty bad. But he's day to day, so he might be healthy for the Netherlands game. And then we had another injury against Iran, and then literally like the whole last 30 minutes of the game, Iran had the ball, and they was just pushing us so hard. We literally just like retreated and was just like, oh, we're gonna take our 1 goal and try to hold out. Terrible performance in my opinion the whole kind of last 30 minutes. Our tactics and substitutions that we made were not very good. So if we can clean all that up and find ways to score, because we're not really scoring, then I think we could beat Netherlands. But if we can't find ways to get goals, then we're not going to beat them. We better hope it goes to a shootout, and that's the only way we can win if we can't score. But they're bound to get one against us if we're just chilling and not being able to take advantage of our opportunities. Group B, this is kind of maybe how everybody expected it to shake out. Maybe these two switched. England was the obvious favorite. They're one of the favorites to win the entire tournament. We're just happy to get out of the group stage. I think this is the first win we've had like the last 5 games we've played, which is kind of bad.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And then, we should have beat Wales. We was up 1-0. We gave up a penalty kick in like the fucking 86th minute, and then they tied. So if we would have beat Wales and we would have beat Iran, we would have been, and then tied England. We'd have been tied on points, but then they still would have beat us on goal differential more than likely. So we'd still be sitting where we were at. But it wouldn't have been such a hard fought win against Iran because we'd have already been guaranteed to go through. So maybe we could have played some of our bench players that need some minutes that could be potential subs in our upcoming games if we make it further. Group C. This group's fucking crazy.
That looks stacked.
It kinda. I mean, outside of Saudi Arabia, everybody was like, all right, Saudi Arabia is going to be probably 4, and then it's going to probably be Poland 3, Mexico 2, Argentina 1. So Argentina loses to Saudi Arabia, which is an absolute miracle for them. It's the biggest upset in World Cup history. It's crazy. And then Argentina turns around and beats Mexico's ass. Poland beats Saudi Arabia. And then Poland and... Who did Poland play first? Okay, yeah, they tied Mexico 0-0. So, and then now Poland's going to play Saudi Arabia. So if they beat them, they win the group, which is insane. Poland's not a very attacking team; they're kind of like a defense team. So it's weird that they would be able to win the group. It just doesn't make sense. So Mexico has a chance. Are they? So Mexico plays Saudi Arabia. So if they win, they'd be at 4 points. And then they need Poland to beat Argentina probably. And then Mexico would have to beat Saudi Arabia by because they have to erase that -2. So they'd have to score 2 to get to 0. And then another 2 to pass them on goal differential. But if Argentina scores 1 on them, they would drop to 1. So they need to score at least 3 to maybe take second in the group. So Mexico needs
kind of rough for them at the moment.
Yeah, Mexico needs some love. And if they don't make it out, I'm cool with that. I don't like Mexico's international team. They hate us. They talk so much shit. Their fans are terrible.
I have an internal conflict with Mexico and America.
They think they're better than us, and yeah, historically they probably are, but they don't have any World Cup wins either. So eat shit.
I like both, but I don't watch soccer.
Yeah, so I put $5 down on US to win the World Cup, and if they do, I win $600. So I was like, on $5, not too bad.
$5 is $600. At worst, you lost $5. Who cares?
And I mean, now we at least have a chance. We made it out of the group, so we only have to win 2 games and win in the final. It's doable depending on who we get matched up against. Group D. This one is a little weird. Nothing crazy. France was the obvious favorite. I figured Denmark would be number two. Denmark's a pretty decent team. I don't know if you watched the last World Cup. Christian Eriksen, the dude had like a heart attack on the field. Like, dude almost died.
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was crazy. Very, very crazy. They had like all the players had to like shield him and shit, and like so like the camera wouldn't like be able to see him, and like the captain, I think the captain of Denmark ran over there and like saved his life from like swallowing his tongue or some shit. I'm pretty sure he had a heart attack. It was crazy. And then yeah, Tunisia's they're not that good. So Australia is kind of surprising. They're not a very good team, but like they're not bad. They're just kind of like average, and they're like they're not even a favorite to even make it out of this group. So I'm surprised by Denmark. Sad. This group's also fucking stacked. Uh, so Japan upset
Oh,
Germany. They beat them 2-1. Crazy. And then I don't I don't think this is this accurate.
is Germany done?
So they tie. Okay, they tied Spain. So they only got 1 point. Let's see. So Germany's playing Costa Rica. Spain's playing Japan. So if Germany wins, they get 3 points. They'd be sitting at 4. They need this game to end in a tie. Yeah, Japan and Costa Rica. Wait, no, Germany's playing Costa Rica. Sorry. So if they beat them, they hop up above them on 4. Okay, Spain has to beat Japan for Germany to go through, which that'd be cool with me. So Spain's probably gonna win the group unless Japan fucking upsets them. So if Japan beats Spain, they would win the group. Germany beats Costa Rica, they're gonna miss out on goal differential because Spain's got +7 because they beat the dog shit again out of Costa Rica, like really bad. It's like 6-0 or some shit, 7-0. You hate to see it.
So I like it's been like a few years since I've kept up with soccer, probably like 2017ish. Like last time I was watching soccer, Germany was good. Like, are they like not good, or are they just getting upset right now?
Um, like a bit of both. They have like they don't have the same. So like in 2014 is when they beat Brazil 7-1. They won the
Yeah,
World
yeah,
Cup.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then last World Cup 2018 they got knocked out by Mexico or South Korea. I think I can't remember. And then they got upset by Japan this World Cup. So I don't know what's going on with them. They have a weird team. I don't think there's a lot of chemistry between the players on the team. I don't know. Their defense is kind of suspect as well, in my opinion. And I don't think they have like a real true striker on this team. Like I think they've been rolling with Jamal Musiala. He plays for Bayern Munich. It's my favorite team, but he's like 19. He is like kind of like one of like futures of like soccer, like big players. But I think it's his first World Cup, so they don't really have the true like goal scoring talent like they had in 2014. But yeah, they got a chance to not even make it through. This is a super stack group, so it wouldn't surprise me if they don't make it. Group F, Croatia, I think was probably the favorite to win this group. Croatia or Belgium. Canada came in looking really good. So Canada is like they scored their first ever World Cup goal, their last game, which is cool. And they haven't made a World Cup in like fucking forever. So it was just cool to see them make it. They were playing really well in like qualifying. I thought they would have a chance to maybe make it out. They played Belgium really, really close and they barely lost. Like they probably should have won. And then they lost to Croatia like kind of bad. It was like 4-0. Well, it was 4-1. And then they play Morocco this week. So they've already been eliminated. They don't have a chance to go through. So essentially, Belgium needs to hope Canada beats Morocco. So that keeps them at 4. And then even if Belgium and Croatia tie, they need to at least score some more points. So if Belgium wants to make it through, they gotta probably just beat Croatia just to guarantee it. But I don't know. Belgium's like a really old team. Like they had the last World Cup was like kind of their best shot at winning it. Maybe 2014, but like all their like their golden age of players are like really old, like in their 30s.
So they're kind of on the decline now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've always remembered Belgium being pretty good. They I remember they took us out, I believe, in the 2014
Yeah, they did.
World Cup. So I mean,
I cried.
Yeah, I was there.
I cried. I was so invested in that team. It was we were so close to tying. Like fucking Wondolowski shot the ball over the net from like point blank range. Fucking piece of shit. USA fans will never forgive that man. That dude is like one of like the leading goal scorers in like the history of MLS. And he couldn't score that goal. Like, come on, bro. Just get it on target.
Do you think Messi is just going to dominate the MLS even at his age?
Yeah, I heard about that. He's projected to go to Miami. Yeah, I think so.
He's only 35. I mean, that's old, but it's not that old.
But he's still really good. I don't know if he's gonna like dominate, but I think he'll be, like in the upper part.
It's the best thing that ever happened in MLS at the moment.
Yeah. I think it just depends on like how good his team is, because like obviously he can't do it all himself. So like they have to provide him like goal scoring opportunities unless he makes them himself. But he can do that, but he's not like he used to be and just running, taking 4 players on and scoring. Like he might do that every now and again, but he's getting up there a little bit in age.
I wish the MLS would get some more just like big name players and make it interesting.
I mean, we're getting there. It's a slow progress. There's a salary cap too, so that's a big thing. Like we can't go out and pay $100 million for big players like the other big leagues do. And then they have designated player spots on each team, so you can only have 3 like designated players, which are like your big name players, which is dumb. It's stupid, but it prevents the big teams like with the money from just steamrolling the cheap, like the cheaper teams, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a Revolution fan just because of the Robert Kraft deal. Although I heard he's not very invested in that team compared to the Patriots. Like I heard he's actually kind of a terrible owner. I get by MLS standards.
I would say so.
He doesn't care about that team at all, from my understanding. I might be wrong, but
I don't know. Oh, so the goalkeeper for fucking the USA team used to play for New England. Now he plays for Arsenal. He's like their backup. He's the Arsenal's backup goalkeeper, but he's like our number 1. He's like our starter. He got bought from the Revolution, so that's kind of cool. Oh, Matt Turner. Group G. Yeah, Brazil's the favorite. Brazil's like, I think probably the number 1 favorite to win the tournament. I think it's like Brazil, Argentina, and then France, and then like England. I think is like that. I think that's the favorite order, or maybe Portugal's in there somewhere. But
Brazil. Man, it's crazy when they lose. Like it's wild when they lose.
They look good.
Their fans are like the most invested, I feel like, of any fan base.
Yeah, they look really good though. So they got a good shot this year. They got a pretty solid team. Switzerland was the second favorite. So Cameroon, they have fucking Sadio Mane. He played for Liverpool. Now he plays for Bayern Munich. He's like their best player. He's hurt, so he didn't make the World Cup. Or else this could potentially be different. And Serbia is just kind of not that good. Group H. This is a tough group as well. So Portugal's the favorite here, with Uruguay probably being second. So Portugal just beat Uruguay. And then I think they drew to South Korea. So they play Ghana this go. So they need to beat Ghana, and then they need Portugal to not lose to South Korea to advance. I also put money on Uruguay to win. I think I put another 5 or something on them for like a similar return from the US. But That's the group stages standing so far. But looking at get some upcoming games. So tomorrow we got Denmark, Australia, Tunisia, France, Poland, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, and Mexico. So at Poland, Argentina is going to be a pretty good game. There's a lot going on there. I think Argentina should win that comfortably, unless they just somehow choke. Saudi Arabia upsets Mexico like they did Argentina. That would be absolutely hilarious. I would die. It should be so funny.
So Saudi Arabia is like historically bad, and they're just kind of
They're just not
surprising people.
A lot of the Middle Eastern teams aren't that great outside of like Algeria. Morocco is pretty decent. Iran's actually not too bad. Egypt's not too shabby. I think that's it, really. Well, if you can, that's an African team, I guess. I guess Algeria is an African team as well.
Just in a desert climate.
Morocco's an African team. Yeah, so I guess Iran's probably the better of the Middle Eastern teams. So, nothing too crazy that day. Belgium, Croatia will be a pretty solid game. These three games here are going to be there's a lot riding on these games for teams making it out of the group stage. So Canada should win this game. I think Croatia will win this one. Germany should win this one pretty comfortably. And then I think Spain will win that by at least 2. Uruguay should win. Portugal should blow South Korea out. Brazil should blow Cameroon out. I think Switzerland will win by 2-1. And then it's the end of the group stages. Does it say? So 1C and 2D.
Damn, I might watch. Actually, I'll probably watch the U.S. game over TCU unless it ends quickly.
Yeah, I'll probably be watching the USA game over college football.
Sounds more interesting.
Okay, so we got the winner of Group C against the second place of Group D. So it's looking like it'll be probably Australia against either Poland or Argentina. So that's an easy dub for whichever team wins that, in my opinion. 1D and 2C. And then France against probably either Poland or Argentina. That'll be imagine Argentina and France playing the first round of the knockout stages. That'd be nuts.
It'd be pretty nuts.
I don't know. I think Argentina could potentially get them. France has got a lot of injuries right now. They have a lot of injuries. 1E and 2F.
So not really that many matchups have been set so
no,
far.
Not yet. I mean, there's been people that have been that have won their groups already. I say 1E and 2F. So probably Spain against Belgium. That's interesting. I think Belgium could potentially knock Spain off, but I doubt it. 1G, 2H. So Brazil against, I'm saying Uruguay. Solid matchup. 1F, 2E. Croatia against probably Japan. All right, I'm not gonna go through all these, but well, I don't know. Who do you think is gonna win the whole thing?
Based off what we've just looked at,
I'm trying to find there's no table. Just annoying.
Possibly Spain from like everything we just kind of looked at. Spain looks good from the sounds of it. Brazil looks good. Probably Brazil, actually, like just based off like what I know, which is very little. Other
Yeah,
like just what we just talked about. It sounds like Brazil's kind of the most. They sound like the favorite one.
they're like I'd say they might be the most complete team, like overall, but I think I'd probably go Spain. I don't want Spain to win. I would prefer. I mean, I'd prefer the U.S. obviously, but if we can beat Netherlands, we have a shot. I wonder if it'll show like who we'd play if we win. Oh no, it doesn't go that far. Unfortunate. Maybe like by the time we do our next episode, the table will be up and we can see our route to World Cup victory.
Imagine if like the US like made the World Cup, like the whole country would turn into major soccer fans all of a sudden. It'd be hilarious.
It'd be sick, man.
That'd be like one
that
of the
would,
most watched like things in America, probably.
I think it would be. That would grow like soccer in America like astronomically.
I think it would definitely get people like invested in the MLS after that. But like
A little bit. Yeah, because
just
a
in
lot of
soccer
our
in general.
yeah, a lot of our team like come from MLS like academies and stuff. I mean, the majority of our rosters like currently plays overseas, but we do have a handful of players playing in MLS. We got a couple starters playing in MLS currently. So
I would like to see soccer get bigger, like because like
it's growing.
I prefer it like over baseball, which is kind
Yeah,
of
baseball's
like
fucking trash.
I would say like right now, like football is like the top one in America. That's not gonna change. It's just like American football is just like the number one in America. When you think America, you think American football.
I
And I
think the
say
only
I think basketball has overtaken MLB though at number two, the NBA.
yeah. I think the only thing that's gonna ruin football is like injuries, like you know what I'm saying? If they start trying to make it too safe and they like kind of ruin the game and like rule
Yeah,
changes.
I think if they get super strict on rule changes and they change a lot of things, that could kind of be the downfall of it because it just wouldn't be the same sport.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's probably gonna do it in.
I would like to personally, I'd like to see soccer as like the number three because that's kind of like probably where my favorites would be, like football, basketball, soccer, and then I actually prefer hockey over baseball.
I love hockey. Hockey's awesome. It's like soccer but faster.
See, I think that's why the NBA is growing in popularity. Is the games are really really short, so it's not a lot of a time commitment for
They
people who
just
are watching.
they need to shorten the fucking season.
Yeah, it's the number of games that keeps it from getting more popular.
Yeah, like
Football is a very slow game, but it's like when the action's going, it's pretty nuts, especially when it's close. Baseball's just like there's not a lot of redeeming things for baseball for me. Like I know like I've watched games that I've enjoyed before, but it's very few and like
oh yeah, there's a lot to the game. It's just something I'm not interested in. Same like soccer. Like a lot of people don't like soccer, but they just don't realize like what's actually completely all going on. Same with baseball. Like there's a lot of strategy and like underlying tactics that you're not really seeing just at a glance, or just if you're casually watching, you're just watching and waiting for someone to score, but you're not like seeing like what's going on the field. Same with baseball. There's so many like strategic matchups with like pitchers and like your batting lineup and well stuff like that. So
see, I think soccer is more entertaining though because baseball, yeah, throw a pitch, strike.
it's the
Then
same. It's the same
you
thing.
gotta wait a minute, and you gotta throw another pitch.
They
At
gotta
least
tighten. They gotta
soccer,
tighten their
soccer's moving the whole
gloves
time. Like
after every fucking swing. That shit drives me nuts.
I think soccer, like you were saying, like if people understood it a little bit more, because it's really just about like positioning yourself. Like you're not like scoring doesn't happen that often. Like in
Yeah,
comparison to other sports, it's like
it's
kind of like a
it's an
it's similar
it's
to
an
football. It's similar to football, really.
it's an
Like
ebb and flow like of like what's going on. Like so like a lot of times you have to go backwards to go forwards, and a lot of people don't really like, oh, why are they passing it backwards? Like just go forwards. Like, well, there's nowhere to go forwards, so you have to pass it back, maybe go to the other side of the field and try to move up from there. Like you just gotta like you're just it's like boxing. You're like waiting for an opening to get a hit in. And you're trying, sit, trying shit. Like it's just like boxing, just with a ball and your legs. So the only I will say the only thing I don't like about soccer is like the flopping, like the trying to draw fouls and shit. It's it's annoying.
that's a big annoyance of the NBA as well. Is really bad
It's
about that.
so stupid. Like they you barely get touched and they go down.
I think that's why I like football so much, just because the refs are just like, get the fuck up. Like a
Yeah,
lot of the times, like don't give me that shit.
I agree. So I think if they could maybe dampen that down a little bit, I don't really know what they would do to stop it. I do like how in like this World Cup, so normally they got stoppage time after each half. So like all the time that the game's not currently being played, it usually gets added on to the end of the half and then the end of the second half. So like this World Cup, like literally as soon as the game stops being played, like they add it all up. So there's been like 10, 14 minutes of extra added time on like end of games when like normally it's like 1 to 6. So it's adding on like an astronomical amount of time into the games, which is great. So it keeps people from like time wasting because a lot of times, like, if you're up by a goal and you need to win the game, like someone will fake an injury and they'll just lay there and then they bring the medical people on and then they're like checking them out, but there's really nothing wrong with them and they're just wasting time. So like now they just immediately add all that time onto the back of the game. So like there's not really any point to time waste other than to kind of like stall the other team's momentum a little bit. So it's kind of nice that they did that. It kind of reduces the flopping a little bit, but yeah, they still try to draw fouls. So
Trying to get a card and everything.
yeah, get a card or like get the ball back because if you get fouled, then
Yeah, they just give you the yeah.
you get the ball right there. So I get it. There's strategical fouling or like taking dives, so it makes sense, but it is very annoying, and it does make the sport look really soft. So
I like it's really not that soft of a sport when you consider the fact that they're not like padded up, and sometimes you got to jump and you got to
like hitting people in the
sacrifice.
head,
You got to
and
sacrifice your body like sometimes.
yeah,
So
it's
it's pretty rough.
and you're running like if you're in the full game, you're running like an average of like 10 to 12 miles a game. Shit's crazy.
I would say it's like obviously like combat sports are, like the toughest sports, and then you got like American football and rugby kind of like after that. I'd say soccer is kind of like maybe a tier below that.
Yeah, I'd say hockey's probably.
Yeah, hockey's probably a little bit higher than soccer.
I'd say maybe like hockey's like right there with football. Maybe like a little bit less, but they get hit harder in hockey, and then they actually fight sometimes. So like, but football you're getting hit and like contact the entire time. Like as in hockey, like if you're shifty and you're fast, you might not get hit a whole lot.
Yeah, I like how well. Yeah, hockey's kind of probably got to be in that tier just because like I wouldn't say they encourage fighting, but
It does happen.
it's like they don't break it up like they do in football or any other sport. They're just like, oh, let them go at it. I watched
Exactly.
like a video of his like best hockey fights, and I was like, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, they allow this to go on, like just suddenly this game turns into like a boxing match. Let's see what we
I
got.
wonder if it'll. I don't want to sign up.
Oh, is this kind of similar to the like NCAA bracket type deal?
Yeah. I don't want to sign up. I just want to fucking do one. Oh well. I just wanted to see like what the bracket was looking like. Maybe I can Google it. I don't like the way this is set up.
So if we win, we play the winner of either the Group C or
What is this? The Group C winner and Group D second place. So let's see. Where did I go to for the groups? Okay. So we beat Netherlands. We're playing Group C winner, Group D second place. So it's going to be either Poland or Argentina, which is probably it's going to be one of those two teams, I think, because whoever is playing Australia is probably going to win. So we might be playing Argentina in the second game.
That sounds scary.
I would much rather play Poland. I think we can beat Poland. We can easily beat Poland. I think like they're not that great. They do got Lewandowski, who's like one of the best goal scorers in the world.
Yeah.
But if they can't get him the ball, then they can't score. Like they couldn't really get anything going against Mexico. That's why they didn't draw. But Mexico couldn't score on Poland's defense. So
Australia. And then
even if we don't score, then we could just take it to fucking extra time, and then maybe beat them in penalty kicks. So we would much rather. We need fucking Poland to win this group because I think or if Australia beats Poland in that fucking fixture, then like that's fine. I'd be cool. We'd be playing fucking Australia if we beat Netherlands. That'd be an easy dub. So we need Poland to win that one. And then we'd be playing. So England's pretty much going to win that. Group D winner, Group C second place. So it's going to be France and Poland or Argentina.
So we're not avoiding.
So we could potentially play Netherlands, Argentina, and then either England or like France.
From the sounds of it, I'd rather have England again.
Yeah, I would too. That's crazy. And there's no, I don't want to fucking figure out who we'd potentially be playing here, but yeah, I mean, ideally, we would much rather just get Poland in this next matchup and then maybe pull an upset. If we could at least make the quarterfinals, that'd be sick.
Quarterfinals would be cool. Like, I think if we somehow got there and played England, like we could possibly win that.
Yeah, I think we could. We just tied them 0-0, and we dominated them. Like we should have won that game.
So like we beat. So if we pull off a second round upset, and then
yeah, hopefully we get
then we get England next. We could easily be in the semifinals if we could just pull off
an England upset.
Because like the Netherlands,
we have to actually upset Netherlands
first. That sounds like a smaller upset, at least compared to what we'd be facing in round 2.
We can see if we can pull up some stats for Netherlands. So they tied Ecuador 1-1. Ecuador is not a great team, and then they only beat Qatar 2-0. So looking at their squad, so they got this dude starting. This dude's 6'8". That's actually gonna be tough to score on him. Like the dude's fucking huge. But like the advantage of like big tall goalkeepers is if you can shoot it low, it's a lot further for them to go down to get the ball. Like if you could do it quickly, like close to them. This is the guy. This guy's crazy. Virgil van Dijk. He's so good. So they've only scored 3 goals. This dude's scored 2 of them. He's pretty good, but I don't know. I think we could beat this team. There's nothing crazy. Like they only have a couple like pretty good players. Like Memphis Depay is good, but he's been kind of like not fully healthy. So hopefully he's not healthy by the time we get to him on Saturday, because he's been coming in as a sub. De Jong's solid, but he's kind of old. Gakpo's their only guy scoring mostly. Bergvin, it's not too bad. Frankie De Jong's really good. He plays for Barcelona. Yeah, this is a winnable game, boys. Winnable game.
I'm actually pretty hyped for this game because sounds winnable from what you're saying.
I
We
mean,
win.
they have been beating people. So like they beat Belgium, beat Poland, they beat Wales, beat the shit out of Belgium, tied Germany. So like it's not gonna be easy, but I think we can definitely beat them. So hyped. Man, imagine we just get on there and steamroll them. Be sick. That'd be like some good momentum for the next game.
Another thing I love about like the World Cup is like most of the time, we're just rooting like, it's college football, but like this is like the one time like everybody on the country is just rooting for the exact same team.
Yeah, unless
And
you're
then
like from a different country.
yeah, like pretty much like all the US citizens are rooting for USA or Mexico if you live close by Mexico, because I mean like I kind of like Mexico, so
Shit, I'd imagine Mexico would root for us if they got knocked out. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. They don't want to see us win.
it depends on who we're playing. I like they'll probably be rooting for us against Argentina if that happens.
Oh yeah, I would say so. Or Poland, maybe. I really hope we get Poland. I don't know. I feel like Lewandowski would just break our heart, like Gareth Bale did. The fucking asshole. I knew he would do it too.
I
I knew he
remember
would do
that.
it. That dude's so fucking clutch. Broke our heart. We wouldn't have even had to play like stress too much on this Iran game. We'd have been through already.
The more we win, the more our hopes are gonna get up.
Then we just get crushed by fucking England or something.
So if they win like on Saturday, like the viewership in America of the World Cup is gonna go up like so much just because we're like pretty close at that point,
Yeah.
like
They showed the
quarterfinal.
England USA game in Times Square on the TVs.
Damn,
That was crazy. And it was like the day after Thanksgiving too, which is wild.
this would have been so much better in the summer though. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
see, like I would probably be watching it more than I have in the summer, but
I
in
think
like
I would
I'm
have.
watching like football and I'm watching,
Yeah.
well, pretty much just football.
I don't know.
And it
The
kind of sucks because I'm at work pretty much during all the games. Like it was like the middle of the afternoon when US was playing. Like
Yeah, I've been off like the last like 2 weeks, so it's been nice. I've been able to watch a lot, and then even when I'm at work, if I'm not busy, I'm just gonna watch the games.
we're see we'll see what we could do.
I'm hyped.
USA, we made it through the group stage beating Iran today. So
I seen a thing. I don't know how accurate it is, but like just us making it out of the group stage, our men's team made more than the women's team did winning their World Cup.
that's crazy.
I was like, Jesus Christ,
Our women's teams goes hard though.
they're going for a 3-peat next year.
It's
That's
kind of nuts.
that's gonna be like one of the most dominant sports teams in like history
Underappreciated team actually.
for
Like
sure. They're actually really good. I wonder if they would beat the men's team. I'm really curious.
I don't think they'll beat the men's team.
I don't either, but I think it would be an interesting game.
Like comparing, like if you compare them like relative to like their gender, like the women's are better by far. But like if you're just like putting men against women, I mean, like I feel like if women were gonna beat men at a sport, it would probably be soccer. Or yeah, I feel like that's like probably the most likely one.
Golf, maybe tennis.
Yeah, golf and tennis. Tennis probably is way more Serena Williams would probably watch like a lot of the men's tennis
Yeah,
players.
prime Serena Williams.
Like no doubt she would beat like a lot of those guys.
I think so. There's not a lot of like big name female golfers that I can even think of.
Yeah, the LPGA is not really so big at the moment. I know they've had like really good golfers in the past, but they don't have any big names at the moment.
I can't think of any. There's that Japanese girl. I think she's Japanese. She's like really young. She's pretty solid. I don't know what her
Yeah.
name is, but
I actually have gotten into golf quite a bit over the past couple of years. Like not like I'm like big into golf, but like I watch it like
I like
when
to
there's
watch the
nothing else
Masters.
on.
That tournament's cool.
The Masters is cool. I like watching the majors pretty much, like the US Open,
Yeah.
European Open. I've even caught some smaller ones. What's that guy's name? DeChambeau. He's pretty entertaining to watch. There's some good golfers out there. But yeah, when like individual sports like that, women could probably beat men, and like a team sport, I would say soccer's the best bet.
It depends. Like I don't know the USA women's team against like England's men team or something like that. They're getting walked, but like
Nah, you'd have to put them against like
our
a
men's team's like not. I mean, this year this is probably one of the better men's teams we've ever put together. And we actually had the lineup that we played against Iran was like the youngest lineup like we've ever played at a World Cup. Or no, not ever at the World Cup. It's the youngest lineup in the World Cup currently.
damn.
Yeah. Crazy. I think like their average like 24 years old. So like ideally if like or not ideally, but if we don't like make it through in the next 4 years when we host, so we have a joint bid with Canada and Mexico for 2026, like we would have good veteran team with World Cup experience. So it would be I think we'd be a decent favorite at that point, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, with the team being as young as it is coming in,
Yeah.
and so is it like have we already gotten the
Yeah.
World Cup for the next one? So it's gonna be like some games are in Canada, some are in Mexico, some are in the US.
Yeah, I think Mexico has like one or two stadiums hosting matches. Canada, I think, has one or two, and then we have the rest.
Are we
Like,
are we putting them in like the Cowboys Stadium or like we
yeah, I think there's
building new
like
ones?
probably the bigger cities, Dallas, Kansas City, New York, probably Miami, LA, Denver, Chicago, shit like that.
That's
So
kind of cool. I'm definitely gonna go to like some the Dallas ones probably if they're nearby. Like they have some in Dallas. I'm
I'll,
probably definitely
I'll
going.
fly to go watch a US game somewhere. There you go
But
see well, you know what's crazy is like the next World Cup, like Ronaldo's probably not gonna be there, Messi's probably gonna not be there.
it's true.
Like the big guys that we have out now are like all like pretty old.
One thing I haven't heard a lot about in soccer is like the newer guys coming up. Like from what I hear, like from what I've seen or heard, like nobody's being mentioned like on like a Messi, like Ronaldo
You got Mbappe for
level to
France.
like take their spot.
It's more likely it's like him.
Mm.
You got fuck's that guy's name? He plays for Brazil. Uh, Vinicius Jr. He's pretty good. And then Spain's got a lot of young guys that are pretty good. I think Gavi is one of them. Yeah, Gavi and Rodri, that's like their two. Like he really there's a Pedri. Yeah, it's Gavi and Pedri because he's 18 and he's 20. Like those are their two like big up and coming guys. Ansu Fati is supposed to be pretty good. So Spain's got a good young like core for
So you
their
think some of these guys will
be the next big guys. Yeah,
like by the time the next World Cup rolls around, like people will be like pretty hype about watching those guys.
I would say so. I don't know. They're probably not going to be on the Messi, Ronaldo level by then, but like Mbappe probably will be. That guy's fucking crazy. He's really good. And they won the last World Cup. So like he's already got a World Cup. He's pretty much won everything but the Champions League. And he plays for PSG. They just can't get it done.
That's
And they have Messi and Neymar. That's like there's three superstars.
is Neymar still solid? I ain't been watching soccer in a while. Like
He's hurt right now. He got a huge fucking like bruised big fucking ball on his ankle. They said he should be back probably by the knockout stages, but he's out right now.
Neymar low key might be my favorite soccer player.
I don't like Neymar.
He's cool as fuck.
He's really good. He just flops too much. Dude's a fucking diva. He's really good though. Well, I don't have anything else for World Cup stuff, but go USA.
Yeah, if we lose, you'll hear about it on our next week's episode.
I'm gonna be devastated.
But if we win,
We're not gonna lose. We're gonna win.
we're gonna be pretty hype.
We're gonna win 2-1. Or 7-1, maybe. Oh.
Watch us pull a Germany versus Brazil.
There ain't no way we score 7. We don't have anybody to score goals. We'll be lucky if we get 1, I think. It's probably more like realistically gonna be like if we win like 1-0 or like we lose like 2-1.
We win like PKs or something.
Yeah, something. Might end in a tie. That'd be like, best case scenario if we don't win.
Wait, they can end in ties?
No, not now.
I was about to say like what? That don't make sense.
Yeah, after
It goes straight to PKs.
After 90 minutes, then it goes to extra time, so you get 30
Oh
extra
yeah,
minutes.
yeah. You get like
So
yeah.
I think it's 2 minutes. And then after that, then it goes to PKs. And the crazy thing is, like with PKs, you can only have people taking penalty kicks that were on the field in extra time. So if you sub people out, like in the second half, and then you go to extra time and you're like, oh, fuck, this might end in penalty kicks. Then you're like thinking, like, all right, we got to sub people in that are good at penalty kicks. So, like, once it starts getting close.
Well, then you're putting yourself at risk to get scored on at the same time, probably.
True. Yeah, it's crazy. Because I think you get extra subs once it goes to extra time. Like, you might get like 1 or 2 extra. I can't remember. Because you get, it's 5 currently. It used to only be 3. In this World Cup, you get 5 subs.
Mm.
And then I think you get like a 6th if like someone on your team gets like a concussion or some shit. I don't know. It's weird. But I'm excited for Saturday.
USA.
We can do it. All right. Well, I got nothing else. We will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you go check out other stuff if you're new here. But have a good rest of your day.